So let's talk about the awareness funnel. Okay, let's talk about that first. And then we'll talk about 75-25. All right. So the awareness funnel, here's how it works. The top of the funnel is called awareness. Awareness is doing activities that actually get you in front of people that don't know who you are. Here's what I understand. There's like 7 billion people in this world. About 6.999999 billion have no clue who Greg Todd is. So I need to spend a good chunk of my time doing activities that are going to get me in front of people that don't know who I am. Okay?
This is Secrets for Success.
Welcome to the Secrets for Success podcast. I'm your host, Greg Todd. Thank you as always for joining me, my friends. Today, we are going to talk about 75-25. I actually did a Facebook Live on this a couple days ago. Unfortunately, the Facebook Live, it stopped. It stopped streaming. And I was like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to do a podcast on this subject because I really do think this is so important. Many of you need to hear this. And the reason why you need to hear is because you're doing it wrong. Okay. And it's where the majority of your time should be spent right now if you want to actually build a business, like a true business, a business that's not going to struggle every month, a business where you're not just hoping and praying that the next person comes to you, a business that is repeatable, that you can build, that can become an asset. It can work with or without you. You need to understand the 75-25 rule. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So let's talk about the awareness funnel. Okay, let's talk about that first. And then we'll talk about 75-25. All right. So the awareness funnel, here's how it works. The top of the funnel is called awareness. Awareness is doing activities that actually get you in front of people that don't know who you are. Here's what I understand. There's like 7 billion people in this world. About 6.999999 billion have no clue who Greg Todd is. So I need to spend a good chunk of my time doing activities that are going to get me in front of people that don't know who I am. Okay. Today, here's a perfect example. Today, this is actually my third podcast that I am doing. My first 2 podcasts, you know what I did? I actually did partner podcasts, meaning that there are people that I brought onto the Secrets for Success podcast that are people that I want in my world. They have audiences. So what I did is I invited them on my podcast first. Okay. And so what's going to happen is that in both episodes, they said, hey, you know what? You are amazing. Like interviewer. I would love to bring you onto my platform. See, that's awareness-based activities. Okay. All right. That's the first thing. The next thing is interest-based activities. Okay. Interest-based activities is those activities that I'm doing where I'm saying, hey, I'm going to give people stuff that's going to make them raise their hand to want to at least be interested in me. They're not ready to take out their pocketbook or their purse yet and pay me money, but I'm going to give them interest-based content, interest-based activities. Those are usually pieces of material that people will give me their contact information for in return for the value that I'm giving them. Okay. I need to spend time with that. I need to spend time with doing consideration content. Consideration content is now I have your contact information. Let's start to build a relationship. I'm going to continue to give you value. Okay. So that you can consider not necessarily working with Greg Todd, but you can consider what it is that I have to offer. You can consider getting help in this area. Like right now, like this podcast, this is consideration content, right? So I want you to listen to my podcast, and over time, you might not necessarily use me, but I really, really want you to stop trading all your time for money. I want you to be able to buy back the rest of your life and get the time back so that you can actually do the things that will really matter. Like when you're on your deathbed, at the end of the day, your boss is probably not coming. Your coworkers, more than likely from your last job 3 years ago, they're not coming. But there's going to be like a circle of 4 or 5 people, and I want them to be there with you. I don't want you to be lonely. Okay. And that's what I want for your life. Like, that's it. Most of you follow me because you're like, I really am inspired by how this guy operates. Is it the money that I make, or is it the fact that I've been able to do this and I've got a core of people, the closest people to me actually like me more than you like me? I think that's what you're more impressed with. Okay. Anyways, that's consideration-based content, right? And then you got to do intent-based content. Intent-based content is where I'm telling you, okay, I want you to act now. Okay. Like, I want you to make this change in your life. By the way, none of these things are things that are making you pay me money. But this is how you actually build a business. If you don't spend your time doing all of that, and then the last thing, which is evaluation content, meaning that you're doing things where people are evaluating you and saying, do I want to use you for the service that I need? Remember now, if they don't need a service, they don't need to use me. But I want people where they're ready to say, I need to go online, or I need to scale my practice, or I need to be able to set up more efficiencies and operations and systems in my schedule. When they're ready to evaluate, I know they're going to be looking at many people, and I want them, when it's time for them to evaluate, to be like, he is the best in this area. Okay? 75% of your time should be focused on awareness, interest, consideration, intent, evaluation. 25% or less of your time should be focused on fulfillment. It should be focused on service. So here's my question to you. How much of your week are you working? That's question number one. Let's just say you say 40 hours a week. Okay. So of the 40 hours a week, how much of that time is you actually treating clients, working with clients, evaluating clients in the clinic? How much of that time of your 40 hours? Is it 20? If it's 20, that means you're spending 50% of your time doing that. Is it 30? That means that you're spending 75% of your time doing that. You guys, it should be at most 10, if that's how you earn a living. For me, the way that I earn a living is through doing online coaching and consulting, okay? This week, on average, I'll tell you guys the last couple of weeks. So 3 weeks ago was when we had all the events here. I worked 51 hours for that week. That was a huge week for me, okay? All the weeks since then, I have worked anywhere between, like last week, I worked 8 hours. The week before was 19. The week before that was 20. The weeks that I'm not doing these events, I'm working about like on average 18 to 21 hours a week, okay? But even on weeks like this, like only 10 to 20% of my time is on doing fulfillment-based activities. Like that's where my time is put. My time is not like 90% of my time is me coaching people all day. Well, if you're going to do that, how are you going to have time to get new people? How are you going to have time to serve the people that come into your world? How are you going to have time to actually give people the opportunity to say yes to you with their attention before they say yes to you with your pocketbook? You guys have to set up your business to where 75% of your time is doing the things that I just said, or you're going to run out of people. What's going to happen is this, okay? And this is what happened to me. That happened to me in 2005 when I started with Mike at Renewal Rehab, is that I truly thought that if I just became a really good clinician, that everybody would come to me. Like I would just be able to sell myself. Like that was it. Everybody would be like, oh my God, he's so good. And everybody would feel the need that they have to go build my business and market for me. Guys, that's not how it works. Okay. I mean, in the beginning, I was able to get a couple people here and a couple people there and a couple people there that I knew from the last place I was at, or this or that, or tennis players, but it wasn't enough to keep the lights on. Okay. I didn't have a process. I didn't have systems. Because and the reality is that I was spending most of my time doing bullcrap. I was spending most of my time, if I had like 3 patients for the day, I was spending like 2 hours like with a patient. I remember I used to have a patient that would come in. Her name is April. I used to have her that come in at 6 o'clock at night. So she'd come from 6 to 7. And then you know what I'd do? I would like play dodgeball with them. No, it was fun. Okay. But I played like dodgeball with my patients. And I was like, oh my gosh, they're going to love this place so much. They're going to tell people about me. Now, they might have told like 1 or 2 people, but it's not their job. Their job is not to be my marketing people because I've done such a great job treating them. It is my business. And you need to spend the majority of your time doing that. If not, you are going to struggle. You're going to continually struggle over and over and over and over again with your business. And that's where I see the majority of you, you're just not allocating your time right. You're not allocating your time to awareness, interest, consideration, intent, and evaluation-based activities. Evaluation-based activities is where you can actually sell your stuff. You're not selling enough. And I think many of you, it's not that you're even ashamed of selling. I think you don't even have enough people to sell to. You're not doing anything to put yourself in front of new people. There should be people every single day. It's like, oh my gosh, 500 people didn't know who Trisha was, but now they know. That's what your day should be like. You're trying to sell to the same old people over and over because you don't want to do those things. And more likely it's because you're not good at it, but you're not even like trying to get good at it. Okay. So please understand that 75-25, awareness, interest, consideration, intent, evaluation, that should be 75% or more of your time. The rest of your time should be serving the customers that you have and serving them very well, okay? But serving them in a way that they will want to become repeat customers, or they will tell other people about you. But it doesn't need to be 80% of your time. It doesn't need to be 50% of your time. It doesn't need to be 75% of your time. If your business is set up that way, you have a business that's set up to fail. All right, so I hope this helps you. Hope this blesses you. Thank you so much. Love you guys. Until next time.